We got to have a serious conversation about Leny Yoro because sometimes, as a fan base, we don't help our young players. We put them on a pedestal and we hype them up when things are going well. And as soon as they have one or two bad games, we tear them down. We decide they'll never be good enough, even when they're 19, 20 in an unstable environment, and we send them have 20 good games. If they have 2, 3 bad games in a row, they are done. They are finished. And I cannot believe some of the things I'm hearing about Leny Yoro after today's game, and it's clearly getting to the kid. He was absolutely devastated. He was, even though we won the match, you could see he was so upset. Mason Mount was having to cheer him up, and some of the things that I've seen online written about Leny Yoro is an absolute disgrace. And I have to say, thank you very much, Mason Mount. I love this. Leny Yoro is going through a rough patch, but we'll only learn from this. And become a better player. It's nice to see senior players in the dressing room comforting like this. And this was obviously because Mason Mount had put his arm around Leny Yoro after the game, and United Exclusive had said this because Mason Mount was visibly comforting Leny Yoro. I'm going to just remind you something about Leny Yoro. First of all, Leny Yoro joined Manchester United at 18 years of age. He was signed by Ten Hag to play in a back four. Leny Yoro never played under Ten Hag. Leny Yoro never played in the back four for Man United, unless you include the brilliant pre-season friendly versus Rangers. And Leny Yoro got a nasty injury, so at 18 years of age, he'd moved to a new country, he'd moved to a new league, he never once played for Ten Hag, the manager that signed him. He picked up a nasty injury and was already 3 months behind, never got to have the pre-season, never got to have the training, never got to be warmed up into it, and he picked up an injury. Amorim then threw Leny Yoro into a back five. He had a few nice cameos versus Liverpool. He made a really good tackle on Darwin Núñez versus Arsenal, for example. And he showed promising glimpses, but he was being moulded back in. He'd never played in the back five. He was 18, 19 years of age. He'd just come back from an injury. He was playing for a new manager, a new system, and he's never played as a wide centre-back. Then Leny Yoro had a bad game versus Southampton, and he got absolutely cooked by Sulemana. Absolutely cooked. He was poor. Do you remember what people were doing? Do you remember some of the viral tweets? Leny Yoro's not it. Leny Yoro's never going to make it at Man United. Iffy game versus Leicester, bad game versus Southampton. The tweets after that bad game from Leny Yoro, which was his third or fourth game in United shirt, they were saying spooky times for Yoro. He'll never make it at Man United. He'll never make it in a back five. What happened the second half of last season? What happened for 3-4 solid months? Leny Yoro was our best centre-back. What happened? Leny Yoro put in about 15, 16 brilliant performances in a row. Leny Yoro was a better centre-back than De Ligt and Maguire, and obviously Leach was out injured the back end of last season. Leny Yoro, we were all praying he was back for the Europa League final. Leny Yoro went on this ridiculous run for 3 months and then got an injury, and he was absolutely fantastic for us. Phenomenal. Don't forget how good he was in that run. Couple games early this season, I thought he was good. Then he had an iffy game. It was Man City game, and then he's been in and out of the team since. And he's not quite maybe had enough games in a row to build up form, but he's obviously low on confidence. Poor game for France, poor game for us, 2 poor games in a row. I get that. And now people are going back, and I'm seeing stuff written about Leny Yoro of he's not Man United quality, we should sell him. He's not Man United quality, another overrated kid. He's just turned 20. He's had injuries, he's played in a new system. He's just turned 20. He's a centre-back. Centre-backs don't make it till 24, 25. Saliba got loaned out multiple years because he wasn't good enough to play for Arsenal at age 20. Look at Saliba now. We'd all be begging for Saliba. Look at Saliba at 20. Look at Gabriel at 20. Look at Virgil van Dijk at 20. Don't write him off. Adam Wharton came into Crystal Palace. Phenomenal 6 months. Got in the England squad. Never played in the Euros, but got in the England squad. Was phenomenal. Everyone was hyping up Adam Wharton. The following year, what happened to Adam Wharton? He had a few injury issues. He was in and out of the Palace team. And this time last year, Adam Wharton's stocks were a little bit lower. The first 4 months of last season, Adam Wharton was in and out of the team, in and out of minutes, not playing his best, having a few injury struggles. Did we see people say Adam Wharton's a crap player? Did we see people say Adam Wharton's finished, he won't make it? No. Because in the second half of the season, about February onwards, Adam Wharton started being fantastic again for Palace after a few poor months, where it wasn't all completely his fault, but he had dropped off. And Palace had dropped off as a team, and when Palace were better, he was better. Were people this time last year writing off Adam Wharton? No. Did you see how good Adam Morton was today? He was fantastic. Do you see the way people talk about Adam Morton? Absolutely fantastic. If Leny Yoro was at a club that wasn't Manchester United, he'd be allowed to have 2-3 bad games, and we probably wouldn't know about it. Because I bet some of you didn't know that Adam Morton struggled beginning of last season. You wouldn't have known about it because Crystal Palace let their players have time. Let their players have time to thrive. Yeah? And Adam Morton's a fantastic player. I wouldn't even say he was bad. He just had a few games where he wasn't at the level, he wasn't fit. And then the back end of last season was fantastic. And this season, he's fantastic. Yeah? Leny Yoro is allowed bad periods. Leny Yoro isn't playing for a top of the league side and he's aged 26. Leny Yoro is playing for a very inconsistent side in a very different system where he's asked to do a very complex role at 20. And he's had injury issues. He's been in and out of the team. We've got one game a week. It's harder to build momentum. He's doing this at Man United. There's a difference between being a good player and then being a good player in the Premier League at Man United. How many players have come to Man United and just not made it at 25, 26? How many players have been fantastic at other clubs and they've gone to Man United and they've struggled? If you are writing Leny Yoro off because he's had 2 bad games in a row and then he's had a couple iffy games this season when he was fantastic last season and he has had a few good games this season, then you are nuts. Because also, Leny Yoro was having a good game until he conceded a penalty, and you cannot tell me otherwise. Leny Yoro slipped. He slipped, he gave away a silly penalty, but he slipped. Clumsy, but he slipped. But before that, he made a block that could have saved us a goal. Don't forget that block that he made that could have saved us a goal in that game. And then after he slipped, he lost his confidence. He gave away the penalty. He had a bad 10 minutes. He got hooked. Mazraoui was good when he came on. Leny Yoro was poor. Yes. Leny Yoro didn't have a good game versus Everton. Yes. But was it just we know that Leny Yoro can do better, or was it an awful game from Leny Yoro? No, it wasn't an awful game. We just know how good he was last season, and we know that currently he's not playing at his best. When you look at the Everton game, it wasn't a great game from Leny Yoro, but was it, my God, he's awful, he's cost us the goal, it's his fault? No. We conceded 1 goal to Everton, he didn't have a load to do. Yes, he cost us the penalty today, but we won the game, he slipped, mistakes happen. Van Dijk is making a lot of mistakes this season. Saliba makes the odd mistake. It happens. He is 20. He's had a rough couple of games, but some of the lies and some of the narratives about Leny Yoro going about his nuts. Now, it's only a very small percentage of the fan base that's reactionary, the online ones, but if you generally believe that Leny Yoro is a bad player because he's had 2 bad games when he had about 20 good games to show us last season, at 20 years of age, in an unstable environment at Man United where he's clearly low on confidence and clearly deflated, then you're nuts. Leny Yoro, I generally believe, is a £100 million talent. I think Leny Yoro can be a Van Dijk level centre-back in the future. I think Leny Yoro is a top 10 young talent in the world, and I think Leny Yoro can have a very good career. Same with Kobbie Mainoo, who's barely got any minutes. Look, things aren't going well. We've got 1 game a week. It's hard. Amorim isn't really developing the youth and maximising our players. But I believe Leny Yoro and I believe Kobbie Mainoo are only 20 and they can still have good careers. And if you write up a player at 20, you're absolutely nuts. 25, 26 is different, but never write off a player at Man United because half of them go abroad and are fantastic. Never write off a player at 20, especially when we've seen them have enough good games in this shirt. Thank you for watching. Bye.